So guys, I believe I titled this video that there is no going back. There's no turning back. Once you embark on this journey, once you get closer to God, once you realize that this is the true path, this is the path that God has set you on, this is the path that the universe has set you on, this is the path that all the creation has set you on. If you decide to turn your back on it, the consequences will be more severe than when you were ignorant to the fact that this is the path. If you know the dire consequences of you actually not adhering to this path, aka if you're enlightened about the truth of this path, then it is of the utmost importance that you embark on this journey. And you're going to realize that if you decide to turn your back on it, the consequences will be that much more dire, because you know this is what you need to do. You know this is what you're supposed to do. Your bloodline depends on it. And I'm not talking about your future children, because sometimes you could transcend having children. You could transcend the karmic circle of having more children. But you owe it to not only yourself, but the people that are also your ancestors. You owe it to the bloodline before you to become your best version of yourself. And the only way to achieve that is through semen retention, through spiritual retention. Let me give you a quick story time. I had a recent series of unfortunate events. I had 3 events that just happened to me all in a row like that, and they were all trying to teach me something, right? So the first thing that happened, number 1, I lost my girlfriend. Number 2, I lost $500 worth of an online order. Number 3, I lost an AirPod. Now I could go into detail about how I lost them, but the detail isn't what's important. It's the fact that what God was trying to teach me is that you have to be okay with loss. So actually, I changed my mind. I'm going into detail about it all. I'll go into detail. Forget it. I have time. So with my girlfriend, right? I picked up my girlfriend and her sister, and we were due to the fair. And we we're gonna have a fair date. We actually did go on a fair date. It was fun when it lasted, but it didn't end that way. We started off fine. We were going on rides. Obviously, I paid for everything. Her sister had her own ticket, thank God. She ended up paying for her sister's ride pass, which is also awesome. But I ended up getting tickets for me and her, and I got us both a ride pass. We went on this slingshot. It's a big slingshot, and I do recommend going on the slingshot. I'm going to include a slingshot video of us after this video. But I ended up losing my hat on a roller coaster. I lost my favorite hat on a roller coaster. And instead of being stoic, instead of being calm, cool, and collected, I didn't lose my shit per se, but I was uneasy. I was uneasy. And I expressed that I was uneasy, which, number 1, I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have been uneasy. 1. Number 2, I shouldn't have expressed that I was uneasy. Number 2. And then, number 3, I didn't have any control over my emotions, and so I decided to go to the mall to replace my hat in the middle of the fair date. And so instead of being a perfect woman, which no woman is, just like no man is perfect, instead of being a perfect woman, she had decided to stay. And so I took that significantly. I thought it signified that I would never force her to be with me, to quite literally just be with me while I do my thing. And and she just decided not to be with me. She decided not to accompany me to replace my hat. So my logic when I broke up with her, because I broke up with her as soon as I got back from the mall, and I broke up with her, my logic was that my problems were only my problems, her problems were our problem, and that was the problem. See the problem? You see the problem, right? Truth of the matter is I should have been a lot more chill. I should have been a lot more relaxed. And yeah, so that's how it played out. I could have handled it better, whatever. This is not a breakup story. So, number 2, I had ordered stuff in the mail. I'd ordered stuff in the mail, about $700 worth of online product. And it ended up coming in on a Friday. And this Friday, I'd already got done with work in the morning, because I work mornings. And then my boss called me in for another shift throughout the day. And I was like, fuck it, why not? Well, turns out my package ended up coming while I was at work. And I should have taken precautions. I should have told my neighbor it was coming in. Because mind you, I live in a ghetto area. So this is why I should have taken precautions. And I ended up taking the precautions. And one of my packages ended up being stolen. So one of my packages was worth $200. Another one of my packages was worth $500. And that $500 package was stolen. So, mind you, this day is the same day that my mom had invited me to a comedy show, and I had agreed to go, and I was looking forward to going. Only reason why I accepted this work opportunity was because I didn't know my package was going to come in this day. I didn't know my package was going to come in this day. You know how some days the packages come in a day early, come in a day late, whatever the case may be. I didn't know my package was going to come in, and so I decided to work. And I had planned it to where I would get off just before and get ready and go to this comedy show. But instead, I came home to the realization that one of my packages was stolen, my $500 package, and I flipped my shit. I just didn't have my cool. And so I decided not to go to the comedy show with my mother. The third thing that happened was I lost my AirPod, right? Now, what happened was I had planned on going for a run, but at the time when I got to the place that I was going to run at, I realized I only had one AirPod, and so I ended up going on Find My AirPod, and it ended up being at my place of work. I spent 2 hours looking for it, and then I had an epiphany. And it was the realization of the theme that was going on in my life, and the theme is that when I set out to do something, I better do it, regardless of what happens. I should have stayed on that fair date, regardless if I lost the hat. I should have went to that comedy show, regardless if I lost $500 worth of online product. And I should have went for that run, regardless of if I lost an AirPod. I could have saved the relationship. I could have saved a good time, a memorable night with my mother. I could have saved 2 hours of my time searching for an AirPod. And mind you, all of these things are replaceable. That hat was replaceable. Like $500 is replaceable. There's always more money. Like AirPods are replaceable. And so it was a very expensive lesson. You know, it cost me my girlfriend. It cost me it cost me my word that I've given to my mother. It cost me 2 hours of my precious time, because Lord knows we only have so many hours in our lives. And you know, I don't regret anything. I really don't, because I learned my lesson. That is why I don't regret it, because I learned my lesson. You know, God tried to teach me this in one foul swoop, but I didn't learn the first time. It took me 3 times, and so I had 3 levels of loss. But, you know, it is what it is, right? You live and you learn. You can't win them all. And it's so important to remain positive. It is a very masculine quality to be positive. So just remember that, guys. You know, keep it cool. You know, you take a loss. You know, whatever you do, keep retaining.